that ye may so live together in this life, that in the world to come ye may have life everlasting.
Oh, I am glad you could come. Clara, I'm so happy. Isabel, you've never looked so lovely. Oh, thank you, dear.
My dear, you... that ye may so live together in this life, that in the world to come ye may have life everlasting.
Oh, I am glad you could come. Clara, I'm so happy. Isabel, you've never looked so lovely. Oh, thank you, dear.
My dear, you must be awfully happy.
I am.
May I again offer my blessing?
Thank you, Father.
It's a puzzle to me how Carlyle ever won her.
Why? He's wealthy and respectable.
You can say that about a chimney sweep. Absolutely no social reason. A country solicitor who made money.
Evidently a fascinating country solicitor. He had a great deal of opposition, including that of our friend Levison.
Oh, but really?
My dear Lady Townsend, when I return from the continent, I shall run down to Kent and visit you, whether you will have me or not. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
Elusive, my dear.
London won't be the same without you.
Oh, flatterer.
May I?
I was wondering if you were going to be the last.
It's no easy task, I assure you. But I'll not say London won't be the same without you.
No?
No, I'll change it. I'll say life won't be the same without you.
Oh, a very pretty speech. But not a very original one for a member of the diplomatic service.
When one is sincere, one forgets to be diplomatic.
Serious, you are.
Am I? I'm sorry. I hope you won't find life in the country too quiet for you.
Oh, no. You see, I'm going to move Mayfair down to East Lynne. We're going to make it the most popular suburb of London.
Why, that's splendid.
Ah, Levison.
Oh, well, darling.
Are you offering Isabel congratulations or condolences?
I wish you both the greatest happiness.
Well, thank you. Now, understand, when we return from our honeymoon, we want you to visit us at East Lynne.
Oh, I'm leaving for the continent tomorrow. I may not be back for months.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, remember, you'll always be welcome.
Thank you so much. Oh, sorry to interrupt, but I must remind you, my boy, you've got to catch the boat train, and you've little time left to change.
Oh, yes, we must hurry. Goodbye.
Happiness. Always.
Thank you.
Come along, darling. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Levis. I'll see you about that little matter next week, yes? Yes.
Well, the bride and groom are about over.
Welcome, dear, to East Lynne.
Oh, I'd no idea it was so lovely.
I've always felt it needed one crowning touch of beauty. You have contributed that.
Oh, you dear.
Oh, and this is Dodson, dear.
We are all very happy, my lady.
Thank you, Dodson.
Thank you, my lady.
Come, dear. Now, Mary. Cornelia, it's good to be home. Isabel, this is my sister.
I've been looking forward to meeting you. We were so disappointed that your illness prevented you from attending our wedding.
I hope you will like East Lynne. We are plain people. We live quite simply. I've arranged your rooms as I thought you would like them.
I'm sure I shall.
Well, the Newlyweds.
Well,
My boy, this is an occasion. Welcome home.
glad to see you again, Sir Richard. You too, Barbara. May I present you to my wife?
May you indeed.
Isabel, this is Sir Richard Hare.
My dear, we are tremendously pleased. This is a great moment for Robert's friends, you know. Oh, this is my daughter, Barbara.
I'm delighted to meet you. I do hope we'll see a great deal of one another.
You'll see a lot of us, my dear. We're neighbors, you know, and we run in and out of this place as though we own it. Don't we, Carlyle? You know how long I've known him? Since he was that much. Haven't I, Cornelia?
Sir Richard, dear, you'll be getting bits of my biography for months.
I'll love it.
We do hope you're going to like East Lynne.
East Lynne likes you already.
Thank you. That's very sweet of you. And now, if I may...
Oh, of course. Run along, dear. I know you want to see your rooms. Come, Sir Richard, I want to have a chat with you.
Goodbye. We'll see you again. Charming, my boy. Perfectly charming.
Isabel. Go on in, will you? I'll join you in a moment.
Certainly, my boy, certainly. Come along, Barbara.
My dear, it's wonderful seeing you standing there. You know, the first recollection I have of my mother, she was coming down these stairs radiantly beautiful, just as you are now. I shall always remember you standing just there.
And every time I come down the stairway, I shall remember how happy I am at this moment.
This is Joyce. She has been instructed to unpack your frocks and hang them in the wardrobe. If you approve.
Thank you, I do. Oh, how thoughtful.
I'm glad you like them.
You know, I had no idea East Lynne was such an estate. My friends will be surprised when they see it. I've invited a number of them down for the weekend. They're awfully jolly. I'm sure you'll like them.
Oh, really?
You know, I'm getting a little frightened. I'm quite helpless, really. You see, after my mother died, I spent most of my life at school on the continent. Then when I returned to England, I lived with Lady Townsend, so that I've never managed a household. I'm afraid I shall bungle things terribly at first.
I've always managed East Lynne for my brother. In fact, I practically brought him up, so I know just how he likes things done.
Oh. Well, won't you continue in charge?
If you wish it.
But of course. And this is my bedroom. Oh, what an adorable window. Romantic, don't you think? An hour before the worshipped sun peered forth the golden window of the east.
Come over as soon as you can. I want you to see my new Hereford bull. He's a beauty.
We'll be over this afternoon, Sir Richard.
Good. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Goodbye, Barbara.
Miss Hare seems to be a charming girl.
Yes, my brother's very fond of her. They've known each other for years.
How interesting.
Yes, she seems to understand him almost as well as I do. You see, my brother is rather set in his mode of living, has certain ideals. I always felt that his wife should be in absolute sympathy with him. And now I must be going. I have several things to attend to.
Certainly.
Oh, excuse me. The rugs, you know.
Your trunks are unpacked, my lady.
Ah, thank you, Joyce.
Your dresses, they're so beautiful, my lady.
You like them?
I've never seen any so beautiful in this house before.
A little too gay for the country, perhaps?
Oh, no, my lady. They're just what this place needs. You know, the old house always seems to be so full of twilight. If you don't mind my saying so, we're all so glad the master married someone like you, young and pretty.
You've touched upon my one weakness, Joyce. I love to be flattered.
Bless you, my lady. That's no weakness.
And I love to be happy. More than anyone else in the world. Come, we must hurry. Which one shall I change to? I'll wear the one you like best.
This one. I'd love to see you in this one.
Then that's the one it'll be. Come along.
Well, aren't you going to say anything about Isabel?
What do you expect me to say now? You know my views regarding your marriage.
You make it very difficult for me, Cornelia. From the moment I first wrote you of Isabel, you've objected to her. You made it impossible for me to bring her here. And it certainly was most embarrassing when you refused to attend our wedding.
I couldn't do it honestly.
But...
Oh, Robert, you think I'm just prejudiced, but I'm not. You've married a social butterfly, a girl who has been brought up in luxury, without any sense of responsibility. Do you think she'll be satisfied living here as we do? Why, already she's planning to fill this house with her London friends. There'll be gay parties every weekend. The whole routine of your life will be upset, and everything that I've planned. Your parliamentary career. Nothing must happen to that, Robert.
You worry too much about me, Cornelia. Please, let's not go over all that again. Isabel is my wife now. Be gentle with her. I know you'll grow to love her.
I shall do my best to like her.
Isabel, come here. I suppose you realize that from now on I am your lord and master?
Yes, my lord.
And that you are to obey me in everything? Then kiss me. Isabel. A dream come true. You here in my arms, mistress of East Lynne.
My husband.
Now tell me, how do you like it here? Your rooms, your maid, everything.
Oh, it's lovely. And this room, it is beautiful. And the piano.
You know what I want to hear. Please.
When I live and other heart, there is of love shall tell, in language whose excel impart the power they feel so well. There may perhaps in such a scene some recollection be. The days that have happy been, and you'll remember me. And you'll remember me.
And where's Mr. Carlyle?
It was intended for my brother to go to London. He regretted very much his not being here.
Oh, I see. In view of the fact that Mr. Carlyle has taken such a keen interest in the welfare of the church, I would like to suggest that we postpone making any definite ends until his return from London.
My brother always approves of any decisions made by me.
Showing his usual good judgment, if I might say so. Good afternoon, Lady Isabel.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. My dear, and how is that beautiful baby of yours?
Quite well, thank you.
We were discussing the forthcoming charity bazaar, the details of which are still more or less chaotic. Suggestions are in order.
The bazaar last year was very dignified. I don't think we could do better than follow the same general line.
Have you any ideas on the subject, Lady Isabel?
Well, I'd like to suggest that make it a little more attractive for the young people. They might enjoy a little gaiety, a dance, a masquerade.
My dear lady, anything of that nature would violate custom and tradition.
If it is the wish of the members present that I take charge this year as I have done in the past, I shall be very glad to do so.
Most decidedly.
No one better, as you used to.
You'll excuse me.
I think the tickets should be priced the same as last year.
Let me see. What was the charge?
Is that the Dicky Bird? Is there? There he is. The one the little dog's chasing. There he is. Whose dog art thou? Little Tommy Tucker's dog. Bow, wow, wow. There's Mother.
And up in the air, whee, he goes. Oh, Mother, ay, you precious lamb. Oh, Mama loves it so much. Has he been a good boy, Joy?
Very good, milady.
All right, then we'll play bear. And I'll be the big mama bear, and you'll be the little baby bear.
I'll be big bear.
All right, you'll be the big bear, and I'll be the little bear. Mm-hmm. And we'll go and eat up all the people with long faces who talk about charity bazaars.
Begging your pardon, milady, but Miss Cornelia's forbidden Master William to play bear.
Why?
He tore his clothes yesterday.
Oh, that doesn't matter, Joyce. I ordered some new ones from London last week.
But Miss Cornelia countermanded that order.
We won't need you for a little while, Joyce.
Very good, milady.
And who said we couldn't play bear? Go now and run and hide quick. Hey! Hey! Peekaboo! I see you!
How does an English countryside look to you after being away so long?
Wonderful.
I was pleasantly surprised to find you'd returned to England. It would have been quite impossible to settle your uncle's estate without your presence.
I enjoy being back.
It's good to see you. By the way, Isabel will be surprised, won't she?
How is she?
Oh, in splendid health, thank you. The country seemed to agree with her from the first.
It must. I understand she's not been seen in London for the past 2 seasons.
She hasn't time for that sort of thing anymore. There's the child, you know. Our estate. The affairs of the parish. In fact, she's kept quite busy.
Number of children in our parish. The infirmary linen must be...
My brother. Robert.
Ah, Cornelia. You remember Captain Levison, my sister?
Of course. Delighted to see you again.
And our vicar, the Reverend James Hartledge.
How do you do, sir?
Mrs. Hartledge, Mrs. Hume, Mrs. Gibbons, Mrs. Worthington, and Miss Sethridge.
Charmed, I'm sure.
And, where is Isabel?
I think she's in the garden.
Oh, if you don't mind, Captain.
Will you take tea, Captain Levison?
Thank you, I will. May I take your cup?
Thank you.
Isabel! Isabel!
Oh, Robert. I didn't expect you until tomorrow.
My dear, look at you. Your hair, your dress.
Oh, I'm sorry, but don't be cross and don't scold me. I'm so happy you're home. All the days seem endless when you're away.
You should think of me, Isabel. My wife should never be seen without dignity. Now go to your room and make yourself presentable. I brought a guest from London.
A guest?
Captain Levison.
Not really. Oh.
Isabel!
Captain Levison.
Yes, just for a day.
Only passing through.
On my way home.
This is a surprise. I'm so glad to see you again.
Thank you.
Have you met... Oh, I'm so sorry. I've been romping with the baby.
How got it? I'm sure Captain Levison will excuse you, my dear.
Oh, yes. I'll join you in a moment.
Cornelia, the captain is spending the night with us. Well, Richard, did you get over the Hadley auction?
Oh, yes, I was there, Carlisle.
Pick up anything?
Yes, you know, I was after that dumpster bull, you know.
Oh, yes. Did you get him?
I got him. I had to pay for him, though.
What did he cost you?
20 pounds.
20 pounds. Well, I think that's a good buy.
Oh, well, I could have got him cheaper if Squire Jenkins hadn't been bidding against me.
Oh.
He wanted him, too.
How high did he go?
Well, he went to 15 pounds. I had to give 20. That was my limit.
Easily worth
Glad to hear you say so. I didn't see you there. What happened?
Well, I was in town, Sir Richard. I had an important case. My associates couldn't handle it.
Oh, I see. Well, you didn't miss very much. Tell me, Carlisle, what are the condition of things in London?
Very depressing, Sir Richard. Very depressing. Speaking of cattle, are you showing at the fair this year?
I don't know. Are you?
Well, perhaps.
Well, to tell you the truth.
I visited Mrs. Hanson today. Poor thing is suffering terribly from a cold. There is only one cure for a cold. Tell her to take her red flannel petticoat and tie it crosswise over her head. And drink a basin of onion gruel.
May I join you?
Oh, please do. I hope the excitement of this evening won't be too much for you.
It is rather gay and abandoned, isn't it? But I understand you like the country.
Oh, I don't mind. I have my baby, you know, and he keeps me pretty busy.
Yes. Where is Mayfair?
Mayfair?
Why, yes. I seem to recall a few years ago a certain charming young bride telling me that she intended to bring Mayfair down to East Lynne.
You haven't changed a bit, have you? Tell me, what have you been doing these last 3 years?
Oh, like everything else, the diplomatic service becomes mere routine. Fortunately, mine's a more or less roving commission. I may be in the Balkans 1 month, Russia the next.
Well, that at least makes for variety and romance.
Romance?
Yes. At least all your days aren't alike. You go to different places and meet different people. People who are interesting and who do things.
I thought you said you liked the country.
Are you going to be in England long?
No longer than it takes to settle an estate. Possibly a few weeks.
Oh, then why must you return to London tomorrow? Can't you stay over for a few days?
Oh, yes, you must. Why not? Of course, we can't offer you much entertainment, but there's some very good fishing, plenty of horses, and dogs.
Dogs?
Yes.
And Robert, you're forgetting the county ball next Tuesday.
Oh, that sounds interesting. I haven't attended one for years.
I forgot to tell you, Isabel. I have to be in London Tuesday. A case in Chancery.
Oh. Oh, well, can't you possibly postpone it? Or couldn't one of your partners look after it for you?
I said, my dear, it was a case in Chancery. No one can look after that but myself. You understand, Levison.
Oh. Oh, well, then, of course we can't go. I'm completely forgetting our other guests.
I'm sorry to disappoint her. It's the one event of the year she looks forward to. But what can I do?
Well, if I might suggest, your sister undoubtedly would like to go. I'd gladly escort them both.
Why, that's a capital idea. Of course, Cornelia doesn't usually care for that sort of thing, but I'm sure I can persuade her.
Is there anything you need?
Oh, no, Joyce, thank you.
Well, if you have time, I wish you'd look in the nursery. I can't get Master William to sleep.
Oh. I'll go now. Oh, you bad boy. Aren't you a bad boy? Come on now. Time for little fellas to be in bed. And here we go. Lippity-flop. Shut 'em eyes and shut 'em tight. And keep 'em shut and buried under the covers. I hardly know myself, Joyce. It's so long since I've been all dressed up.
It is, milady. And your curls, they're so pretty.
I rather like them myself. Mind you keep an eye on William, Joyce.
Now, don't you worry about him, milady. You just go and enjoy yourself. Oh, I can see you now, dancing with all the young men. You'll have a glorious time.
I know I shall, Joyce.
Is there anything more I can do?
I can't think of anything more.
Then I'll go back to the nursery.
All right. You're not dressed yet?
I've a violent headache. I'm afraid we won't be able to go.
Not go?
No. I'm sorry. I know how you've looked forward to this, but I'm really too ill.
Oh, please, can't I do something for you? Get you something.
No, nothing does me any good. I must go straight to bed.
Oh, but think of Captain Levison. His disappointment. We can't go without you. Robert only consented because you promised to chaperone me.
I didn't promise him I wouldn't have a headache.
Can't you divide each dance by two?
Would you be satisfied with that?
Delighted. You see, I'm not to have any.
Oh, perhaps there may be extras.
I spoke first, but I spoke loudest.
Well, I'm sorry, gentlemen, but I'm afraid that this is my dance.
He's quite right.
Oh, by the way, something very amusing happened this evening. An elderly lady came up to me and said,
I shan't listen to another word. You're too outrageously wicked.
You only knew how I'd struggled to give that impression.
Oh, don't tell me you struggled for it. I've never seen anyone as popular as you.
Popular? Well, perhaps I am, but with old ladies. At least they are appreciative.
Philanthropic of you, if true.
Well, if the elderly ladies are fond of me, the young gentlemen seem to like you. The whole matter appears to be out of balance.
Something for a diplomat to adjust.
Well, perhaps.
Won't you,
Oh, thanks.
Oh, what a glorious night this has been.
Tired?
Tired? Oh, mercy, no. How could I be tired? While I was dancing tonight, very gradually, time turned back.
Dancing in a dream.
Oh, no, it wasn't a dream. I won't have it a dream at all. It was quite real. I'm in London again. The warm April night. Gossiping and laughing in the moonlight. Oh, let me see. What am I to do tomorrow? Oh, yes. Luncheon with Lady Townsend. Reception in the afternoon. Lord Trevor's. Perhaps I shall see Captain Levison there. The fascinating Captain Levison.
Oh, that's charming. Perfectly charming. I wish I could dream. But such things are not for me.
Why?
The bitterness of awakening, I suppose.
Tired.
Perhaps. But still I've courage enough to tell you that tonight you're more beautiful than ever. Have I offended?
Offended? Oh, gracious, no. I love it. Please keep right on talking.
If I did, I might tell you of the most pathetic figure in life. The man who chooses a career instead of the woman he loves. I might tell you that he was fool enough to believe that love could come into his heart and mean nothing. Sufficiently conceited to think that he could come back and casually meet the one he loves. And as casually say, goodbye. But I can't. Isabel.
Good morning, Dodson.
Good morning, sir.
Well, Cornelia, where is everyone? What's the matter? Why do you look at me like that?
Captain Levison left early this morning. He asked me to tell you he received a telegram calling him back to London.
Well, what's wrong with that?
Come into the drawing room. There's something I must tell you.
And away we'll go over hill and dale, and away we go.
Milady, Mr. Carlyle has returned.
So soon, Joyce?
He wishes to see you in the drawing room. He's with Miss Cornelia.
Oh. Take him to the nursery, Joyce. We'll have our ride later, darling. Off my skirt.
Henry, you should have seen the awful look on Miss Cornelia's face.
Yes?
The worst I've ever seen.
No doubt she'll attempt to deny everything. But I tell you, I saw it with my own eyes.
I'm sorry I wasn't in the house when you returned, dear. I was with William.
Isabel, Cornelia has just told me
Oh,
that...
please. If we're going to discuss the right or wrong of my going to the ball last night without your sister, can't we do so alone?
No, my sister remains. And I'm not concerned with the ball. I'm only concerned with what happened here. Afterwards, in this house.
I'm sorry you had to hear about that from someone else. I wanted to tell you myself.
Well,
You make it very difficult for me to explain something that really has no importance. When we came back last night, I was still excited. I could still hear the music of the dance. It carried me back to Mayfair, and I was a girl again. Silly and romantic. Now that I look back on it, it all seems so foolish. But I give you my word, it meant nothing.
it meant nothing that he followed you to your room.
Yes, that's true. He did come to my room. He told me that he loved me. By that time, I was myself again. I told him he was mad. That I loved you, my baby, and my home, and that nothing else mattered. He understood, and he left.
And you expect me to believe that?
No. How can I expect you to believe me after you've listened to her? It's always been her word against mine, her wishes against mine, her orders against mine.
How can you say that? I've never interfered.
You did. You interfered with every move I made, every breath I drew. You drove out my friends. You ruled my house. You've dominated me and my child. You've crushed every impulse, destroyed every bit of romance. You've made my home a prison, till the very air I breathe seems to press down on me and smother me. And you, my husband, stood by passively and said nothing. Because I was your wife, I was supposed to change completely, to become old and drab just as she is. Well, I tried. I did my best. Oh, Robert, can't you see that you're as much to blame for what happened last night as I am?
How dare you say that? How dare you blame me?
Because you never tried to know the woman you married. When you first brought me to this house, I was so happy. You were a lover, Robert. Tender and kind. And then suddenly, overnight, you changed. As soon as you came under her influence again, you changed.
I'll not hear another word against my sister.
Oh, yes, you will. Ever since the first day I came into this house, she's been trying to turn you against me. She's been waiting and planning for the moment to come when she could make you drive me out. Well, you're not going to drive me out because I'm going. I'm going, do you understand? I'm leaving of my own free will. Now. Joyce! Joyce! Joyce, get William ready at once. We're leaving.
What's happened, milady?
Don't ask questions. Get him ready. We're leaving at once.
Come along, darling. Let nurse dress you. You'll take care of Mother, won't you, darling? And come and see Nanny someday. That's a good boy. There's a dear.
You can't go in there.
What do you mean? William is going with me.
William is staying here.
He's not. I'm taking him with me. You can't stop me.
You forget the law is on my side.
Law? What has law to do with me and my child?
Everything. It protects the sanctity of the home. Remember, you've outraged my name, my honor, my love for you. You've forfeited all rights to motherhood.
But that's ridiculous. I've done nothing. Oh, Robert, you must believe me. I've told you the truth. I told you... Oh. You can't keep William from me. You can't. He's part of me. I'm not leaving this house without him.
You've nothing to say about it. What you did once, you'll do again. He must never know. You're going out of his life forever. You made your decision. You're leaving this house alone. You will never come back. There isn't a court in England that will believe your story.
Robert! Robert! I didn't mean what I said about leaving. I didn't mean it. I couldn't go alone. Please. Oh, I'll do anything you say. I'll go anywhere you tell me if I can only have you. Robert. Robert!
You run on, my dear. I'll attend to everything. Stuart, take the bag. Room 14. Yes, sir. Here you are, my man. Aye, sir. I'm just going on board for a moment with my daughter.
Very good, sir. We're sailing very soon.
I think you're doing a wise thing in leaving England at this time.
England leaves me no alternative. The moment Carlyle filed divorce charges seemed to be a signal for every door to close against me. Every friend to evade me.
No, you're oversensitive. You exaggerate things in your own mind.
People I never saw before in my life began to whisper. Tradesmen and servants looked at me as though I were... I hope I never see England again.
No, you don't mean that.
No, I suppose I don't. I couldn't ever quite mean that.
And the trouble with you is you've too much pride. You should swallow it. I did. It gagged me, but I swallowed it. You should have taken Carlyle's money.
I couldn't ever. I've enough of my own to do me for a while.
And that fellow, Leverson. I should horsewhip the scoundrel.
Oh, Father, please.
All right. I shan't say any more. But I dislike seeing you go away alone. I'd go with you myself, but I've been invited to Scotland for some shooting. I don't care for shooting, but the dinners are rather good.
Don't you worry about me. I'm quite all right.
And you're sure there's nothing I can do for you?
Yes, there is. Whenever you can, will you try to see my baby and write me about him?
Oh, don't worry about the baby. Carlyle will take good care of him.
So his lordship said when he delivered the verdict. Justice, trying to be consoling.
Well, there's the last whistle. Goodbye, my dear.
Goodbye, Father.
All ashore. Take it away. And clear. I'll clear. Bon voyage.
Isabel.
Why are you here?
I learned from your solicitors that you were going to the continent. And I booked passage by this boat because I wanted to see you, to talk to you. I couldn't let you go without telling you how sorry I am that I was responsible for all that happened. You see, I couldn't come to you in court. I thought if I did, it might injure your case. I did write to Carlyle. I told him of your innocence, swore to it. He simply wouldn't believe.
I never thought anyone capable of such heartless cruelty as he.
Oh, not only Carlyle, everyone. Why, at the trial when I was testifying, telling what really happened in your room that night, someone laughed. Then it dawned on me. The world likes to believe the worst.
Doesn't matter what anyone thinks now.
No, but you still have your life to live. Let me help you. At least let me be your friend. You see, Isabel, I know you. You tried to destroy the very things in your nature that made you you. Life, gaiety, laughter, happiness. Let me bring them back to you. Vienna, Paris, anywhere you wish. Let me try.
Fog. Fog. Getting into our lives, our hearts, our souls. To meet you, Thomas, then. That's right.
Auf Wiedersehen. Auf Wiedersehen. Immer galant, was?
Don't mind.
Did you consent to meet them at Domire's? Don't you think it's about time we were getting home?
Oh, no, no, please. The night is young.
You'll never be able to keep it up. You'll drop from sheer exhaustion.
That's the only way I can sleep. Sheer exhaustion.
That's not very flattering to me.
Oh, don't scold, please. I'm happy tonight. You said you wanted me to be happy.
Well, I never said I wanted you to be selfish.
Oh, I don't want to be selfish. Oh, I never want to be selfish. Just you watch. You'll never catch me being selfish. Only, please, let's not go home just yet.
Quite absolutely.
Oh, my dear.
Who is she? Lady Isabel Carlyle, a divorced woman. Quite a scandal. And the gentleman with her? Her new husband? Impossible. You see, the final decree of divorce has not been granted.
Well, how do you like Domire?
Oh, I love it. The music, the dancers, it's all so alive.
Madame, vous êtes très, très charmante.
Monsieur.
Gnädigste, Sie sind unwiderstehlich. Sie sind reizend, entzückend.
Really? To you both. she?
A countrywoman of yours, Madame Nielsen. You must have heard at Covent Garden.
I hope she sings as divinely as she looks.
They never do, Madame.
Excellency, proceed.
The government of Her Britannic Majesty is grateful to His Excellency the Imperial Chancellor for the information it has received concerning the unethical conduct of a member of the British Embassy here in Vienna. With your permission, I shall deal with the offender in the presence of Your Excellency.
Gewiss. Herr Kapitän Levison. Herr Kapitän Levison.
Captain Levison, it has been my unpleasant experience as Her Britannic Majesty's representative in Vienna to discover that you, a member of our diplomatic service, have violated the confidence placed in you by a foreign and friendly power. You have taken advantage of your position in an attempt to disturb the peace of this country by fomenting public opinion in behalf of France during her present crisis with Prussia. Your conduct is doubly reprehensible in that you have accepted payment for this. I shall demand your immediate resignation and the surrender of your portfolio. You will not be permitted to return to England. There is a train leaving Vienna tonight for Paris. After today, the British Embassy can offer you no further protection. That is all.
Good morning, dear. Oh, how lovely. You never forget a thing, do you?
Happy?
Of course.
No regrets?
None.
But if something happened in my life, if I couldn't continue to give you the things I always want you to have,
That wouldn't make any difference to me. What has happened?
I've been gambling
Gambling.
with my future, my career. I've lost. I should be a little more courageous than I am. I weighed all the possibilities before I started. Tried to imagine how I'd feel if I missed.
What are you talking about?
Remember once I told you that all my life I'd been rotten and weak underneath? Well, there's no doubt about it now. The only wonder is I lasted as long as I did. A man without a country.
What do you mean?
Oh, never mind now. I'll tell you later. You tossed your life...
That. Do you imagine that I'd leave you because you're in trouble? Did you think I didn't mean it when I said I'd go through to the end?
But it won't be the same. Everything will be different. Tonight I go to Paris.
Paris?
Yes.
Very well, dear. I'm ready.
Mes enfants, to la belle France, to her spirit that never dies, to her soldiers, her victory, and the downfall of Russia, to victory!
I say, we can afford to stay here and miss all the excitement.
Who'll take me around the cafes, huh?
I will.
But not without me. Or me. Well, then, we'll all go.
We go together, my dear.
Oh, I'm sorry. You'll have to excuse me.
Oh, c'est dommage. And you, chérie?
I will see you later.
Then we'll all meet each other at Antoine.
You evidently don't care for our bohemian friends.
I don't.
Well, neither do I. And beggars can't be choosers. Can't live like a couple of hermits.
No, of course not. At least they help one to forget.
What's the matter with you?
What do you mean?
Getting bored?
Bored?
Well, perhaps you don't notice it, but I do, and I don't like it. Life's difficult enough for me just now without your temperamental depressions. And I'd like to warn you, before you begin building up a barrier between us, that you're not quite so independent as you used to be. Nor perhaps as you think you are. Your pride and superiority are rather out of keeping with your environment.
Would you mind ordering another bottle of champagne?
Must you also have champagne to help you to forget? Women have been known to ease their troubled consciences with a cheaper wine.
Oh, please, let's not get common. Above everything else, let's not do that. Besides, it isn't for myself I want it.
No? A visitor, perhaps?
Yes. My father. I wrote him that I wanted him to come, and he cabled that he'd be here today.
Your father? Why?
I want to see him.
You want to see him? Didn't occur to you that I might have been consulted? That I might not want to see him? Oh, well, what's it matter? Perhaps you'll return the money I loaned him the last time I was in England. Miracles have happened.
Aren't you forgetting yourself a little?
Well, perhaps I am. But may I suggest, my dear, that champagne is not strong enough for your father. Brandy for His Excellency? Cognac, yes. Yes, indeed. And now, my dear, if you'll excuse me, I think I'll be running along. A wee bit indelicate for a erring lover to intrude between father and daughter. Old Mount Seven. You know, my dear, he once read me a lecture on reaping the whirlwind.
Premier étage.
Entrez, monsieur. Monsieur Seven.
Oh, Father.
There.
It's so good to see you. It's just like home.
Yes, I can imagine.
Do sit down.
Paris. Same old smelly Paris. Always at war. Always fighting with someone. I loathe the place. I wouldn't have come but for you. Of course, blood's thicker than water.
You always said that.
I'll have to return tonight. Why did you send for me? I haven't any money.
Oh, I'm not going to ask you for money. I need your advice. But first of all, tell me, have you any news of East Lynne? What's happening there?
The final decree of divorce was awarded to Carlyle, I believe.
Yes, so I understand. Perhaps he won't feel so bitter against me now. Maybe time has softened him a little. Maybe in his heart he's sorry for what he did. Oh, now, why do you do that? Why do you shake your head?
Did you think you could escape gossip? Have you labored under the delusion that the world was making an exception of you in your indiscretion? Your continuous indiscretion?
I never thought of it. After all, it's my affair and mine alone.
The cruelest truth is that we cannot live our lives apart from the opinion of the world. May I inquire why, after all these months, you suddenly become interested again in East Lynne?
I haven't suddenly become interested in East Lynne. I've tried to forget it. Day and night I've tried to forget it. Sometimes I could. Then when I did, I had to pay for it later on 10 times over. I used to walk out on the boulevards at night in the rain and snow and slush. Walk as fast as I could and as far as I could. Then when I'd finally get tired and turn back, suddenly out of the mists of the night, my baby's face would appear before me. Like I could feel his breath on my lip. Oh, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do.
Beastly mess, isn't it?
Carlyle, I suppose he'll marry again.
Oh, yes, yes. As a matter of fact, his marriage to Barbara has been announced.
Oh,
After all, my dear, Carlyle has the right to marry.
I'm not thinking of Carlyle. I'm thinking of my baby. Don't you see that that woman will take my place in his heart? He'll grow up and never know me. Maybe if I met him later on, I wouldn't even know him. Think of that. No matter what I've done, that isn't fair. Carlyle must know it isn't fair. If he knew how often I wake up with those tiny fingers clinging to mine. And now another woman is to take my place by him. To tend him, be close to him, love him.
Oh, there, my dear. I only wish there was something I might do.
Oh, there is. That's why I sent for you. I want you to go to Carlyle for me. I want you to talk to him. Plead with him, reason with him, beg him to let me see William again.
That's impossible. You know the man. 10 generations of Puritans back of him. He wouldn't even listen.
He must be made to listen. You must tell him that I know I did wrong, that I make no defense for my actions in the past. Tell him I admit the justice of everything he's ever said against me. Tell him I'm wrong, that he's right. Make him understand that I'm willing to do anything he says, any penance that he thinks I should. I'll crawl in the dust on my knees if only he'll let me see my baby. Just let me touch him. Let me hold him in my arms. Will you do that for me?
Why, of course I will. I'll do what I can. I'll go to Carlyle. I'll tell him what you've said.
Oh, my dear.
I'll not fail you.
Thank you. And you won't lose a minute, will you? You'll catch the next train out. I'll be so anxious. Cable me as soon as you see him. I'll be waiting.
All right, my dear. I'll do my best. Goodbye, Miss Earle.
Goodbye, Father.
Oh.
Il y en a un autre pour Madame Patriot, monsieur.
Madame Aucher. Voilà, madame.
Merci.
Arsène Siégel.
Arsène Siégel. Voilà.
Merci.
Is there any mail for Madame Levison? Any letters or cables?
Nothing, madame.
Oh, are you sure, monsieur? It's very important.
Nothing, madame.
Well, perhaps you could tell me. Is the mail service between here and England still open?
It is, madame, as well as could be expected in the wartime. Please, madame, let the other people talk.
Avez-vous une lettre pour Lucie Vergère?
Voilà, madame.
Oh, merci, monsieur. Vous avez une lettre pour Madame Vergère.
En effet. Cher ami, ça sera la révolution. Je pense sortir la
little William's face when he sees that boat, can't you, dear?
Oh, yes. Oh, and the trumpet.
He's going to have a wonderful Christmas, isn't he?
Isn't he?
There. That's how it's always been. No more and no less.
Quite right, Cornelia.
Oh, we haven't finished the drawing room. Oh, do come and help me.
All right.
On my soul, no one on this tight little island can brew a Christmas punch with half the genius of your humble servant. And on this occasion, I outdid myself in honor of my daughter and my son-in-law.
You've made enough for a regiment.
Madam, I am a regiment. Will you do me the honor?
Too much lemon. Bad for the digestion.
Why, what is it, dear?
I've been thinking all day of Lord Mount Severn. You remember he was here several weeks ago? Well, this morning I received a letter from him. Of course, I hardly know him. The letter was deeply apologetic.
Was it about her?
Yes, he urged me to speak to you again. Said that being a woman, I would understand. He implied there might be serious consequences if...
Serious consequences indeed if that child ever learns of its mother's past. Well, Severn knows how I feel about it. It was impertinent of him to appeal to you. He knows that that chapter is closed once and for all.
I'm sorry, dear. I'll never mention it again.
And now, good night. When is Santa Claus coming? Oh, Santa Claus won't come until all good little boys are fast asleep. Why do you always give me 2 kisses? Why do I always give you 2 kisses? Well, one is from me, and one is from someone who loves you best of all. Shut your eyes tight.
Suivez les autres. À gauche. Allez-y. Madame, you have forgotten your ration ticket.
Oh, thank you, Doctor.
You look very tired. I'm afraid you work too hard.
Oh, but there's so much to do, so many wounded men.
But you must not exhaust your own strength. Please, Do not come back so early tomorrow.
Oh, thank you, Doctor. Good night.
Good night, madame.
Corn husks. Black as night. Is that all we have?
That's as much as anyone has.
Oh, well. What's it matter? We shan't need food much longer.
What do you mean?
If the city doesn't surrender, it'll be bombarded.
Oh, there must be something you can do to get us out.
Of course, I could take my pistol and conduct you safely through the enemy lines. And after that heroic gesture, what?
Oh, I must get back to England.
You must get back to England. What about me? Don't you suppose I'd like to get back to England? But I can't. Ever. You better make up your mind to stay here. Live up to some of those pretty speeches you made in Vienna about sticking to the end.
I have stuck to the end. I've never complained. Have I never found fault? Not even when you didn't ask me to marry. Oh, that doesn't matter now. But you shan't say I haven't been fair.
Why shouldn't you be? I never knew what failure was till I met you.
Are you going to blame that on me?
Yes. Yes, on you and your extravagances. Your luxuries, your gay entertainments. Do you think I can provide them on my income?
You never discussed those things with me at all.
No. No, I was too foolish. I thought I might lose you. Now all my money's gone, all you think of is running away.
It's not true. When I sent for my father, I asked him to go to Carlisle. I want to see my baby again. Is that criminal? I can't stand being kept away from him like this. I've tried to put him out of my life, to convince myself that he's dead. I can't stand it.
It started. Why don't they surrender? Do they want to see innocent people killed? Innocent lives destroyed?
Innocent lives destroyed. My life. Without seeing him again.
Isabel, where are you going?
I'm going to get through. Some way I'm going to get through.
Isabel, come back! Come back! Isabel! Isabel, you mad? You can't get through?
I'm mad.
Innerhalb der Grenzen East
My colleague and myself have decided that you should know the truth about your injury. The optical nerve has failed to respond to treatment.
That means, then, that I'm going to be...
I'm afraid so.
How soon will that be, Doctor?
That is difficult to say. A complete rest and quiet in a darkened room is advisable.
Thank you, Doctor. I'm afraid that's impossible. If I'm to lose my sight, there's something I must do. Someone I must see before it's too late.
Where, madam?
In England.
If you undertake such a journey, I cannot be responsible for what may happen.
Thank you, Doctor. But I'm not afraid.
It is very important that his rest should be undisturbed. Avoid all draughts and any change of temperature.
Very good, Doctor.
Thank you, Doctor. Good night.
Good night.
Lady, my friend. Oh, indeed, he's going to get well, but he mustn't be disturbed. And this night's sleep, the doctor says, must not be broken. Oh, I shan't disturb him, George. Just let me stay through the night, and I'll go away at dawn. You must be going, Lindsay. It's daylight. Your hat, milady. Oh, my dear. What's happened?
Came in the night, Joyce. His face is the last thing I shall ever see. And just as I would have it, he'll always be there before me.
Good morning, Joyce. I couldn't sleep all night. How is William? How dare you come here? Are you responsible for this, Joyce?
Oh, please, don't blame her. I wanted to see him. I have seen him. I shall never annoy you again.
Joyce.
I'm all right, dear. Bless you.
Joyce, you're discharged.
Yes, sir. I'm going. I don't know how anybody could be as cruel and heartless as you are. You'll excuse me for saying it, sir, but it's you that's responsible for what's happened to her. She never did what you accused her of doing. She couldn't. She loved you too much. If she hadn't loved you, do you suppose she could have put up with the life she had to live in this house with your sister? I've never been able to speak before, but I've known of the many lies told against her, and her never saying a word of complaint because she didn't want to make you unhappy. If you live to be 1,000 years, you'll never have anyone to love you as she loved you, and you sending her away now that she's alone and blind.
Fine.
But she's not going alone. I'm getting my things and I'm going right with her.
Isabel. Isabel.